a podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk.
All right, we are back, guys. After a month-long hiatus because I was off exploring the world with Fritz, we are officially back with another Shawk Talk podcast episode, guys. It is Shawk Talk Tuesday here for everybody that lives in America. Australia, suck it. You guys lost in the World Cup, so it is officially Tuesday around the world, even though we just lost yesterday. We lost after you, though, Australia. So it is Tuesday for everyone, at least for this week. Welcome in, guys. We are, for anybody that is new here, we are a podcast, as it says in the song, for everyone. We talk about 5 key topics, including sports, music, gaming, cinema, and, of course, food and drink. And we always have a guest on the podcast. This week, we have an awesome Canadian guest, guys. The one and only ReeKeePea. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you. Bonjour. Hello. Thank you for having me, Shawk.
I guess I should say ReeKeePea instead, right?
That too. That works.
ReeKeePea, let the people know a little bit about you, sir. What do they need to know other than that you're Canadian?
Yeah, well, I'm French Canadian, if I can even put it even more precise. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I've been around the Swogo community for a couple of years now. That's how I pretty much met, I guess, everybody from the community, you and everybody else, and like Rad and Detzhelm in the chat as well. So yeah, no, I've been around playing the game, although half retired from the game right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I kind of play it, but not putting too much effort into it.
Gotcha. Admittedly, I have not. So I used to be for anybody that is not aware, Swoga is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Right.
I used to be in the guild that ReeKeePea was in. I'm assuming was at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I admittedly, like, I popped in and out and hung around for maybe a couple of months after I quit playing the game, but I haven't been on in probably a year at this point, just because I was like, no, I'm dead. I'm done to this game. It ain't happening anymore. So,
yeah.
So you're taking a more relaxed approach now, huh?
Yeah, and going to full retirement soon.
Well, hey man,
I really want to
welcome to the greener pastures, sir.
Exactly. Like I have this time on my hand to do stuff, and
right.
I'm like, what should I do?
It's crazy.
Or maybe I should join Shawk on his podcast.
There you go. There you go. I like it, sir. Well, guys, welcome into Shawk Talk. Like I said, we've got ReeKeePea as our guest. It's going to be a fun time. We've got 5 different topics, like I mentioned earlier. We're going to be talking about the World Cup, punk rock, summer blockbusters, Canadian staples, and much, much more, guys. It's going to be a fun time. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into our opening topic, which is the spread on sports.
The spread on sports.
All right, so our general topic, for anybody that's unaware, we do an over-under at the end for this. We'll get into the over-under here in a moment. But our general topic for today is, of course, going to be about the World Cup. For anybody that's unaware here, we are currently in the thick of things. The quarterfinals just finished today. So the semis will be happening later this week. So I don't know about you, ReeKeePea, but I love soccer. I played it for 13 years, coached a good bit when I was in college, and high school. So I love the World Cup. I'm all about it. I admittedly do not follow Premier League because it's not really here in America, but I do still love soccer. What are your thoughts, man? Are you a fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a super fan.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey, it does take a lot of place in our hearts in Canada. So, but I do like you. Like when it's World Cup, I follow World Cup. I look what it is. I watch the games. I was watching Argentina versus Egypt today.
Yeah, it was a good game.
An amazing game, honestly. Right. But there's always something about soccer that doesn't make me be like a fan, which is probably something that annoys a lot of people, which is the fake injuries and stuff. Exactly.
I get you.
Like they just like. So if it wasn't for that, I think I would be a lot more, I come from hockey where they get a puck in the face at
Yeah.
100 miles per hour and they continue playing. Like you get a little tip on the toe and you're like, oh my God, mommy, where?
Right.
So yeah, but I know it's the most accessible sport to everybody in the world.
Right.
Everybody in the world kicked the ball, ran and kicked the ball and shot in the net, right? So that's why soccer is so popular and soccer is so everybody knows about soccer. So that's why it's so fun to watch as well.
Quick question before we get into the main discussion point here. So I was interested, I'm assuming the way that you're talking that you call it soccer, not football.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. I know that the real word should be football. I agree with that, but yes, in North America, it's soccer. We have a Montreal team in the Major League Soccer, the MLS as well. So yeah, soccer is the terminology, but I agree we shouldn't be calling it soccer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised because if it was anywhere else in Canada, I would not be as shocked by you calling it soccer. But in French Canada, French Canada is what I wanted to say. I figured if anybody was going to be more of the world pronunciation, it'd be French Canada. But interesting.
Soccer is more a French word to us than football is French, right? Soccer is more French connotation than football. So
that's true. Very good point.
So that's why. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, our main topic of discussion here today, and I'm sure we'll talk about the World Cup in general, but with what recently just happened, which was the Balogun red card in particular, and I apologize if I mispronounce his name. I'm going to call him Flo from the remainder of the time. But with the suspension, so I've heard many different words with this. I've heard rescinding of, and I've heard suspending of. I'm pretty sure it is a suspension is what it was for a year, up to a year. The suspension of that red card, there's a lot of heat from around the world in particular, not so much the U.S., that there was political motivation and political involvement in making that happen because it's never happened before. For anyone that's unaware, Flo got a red card. In my opinion, it should have been a red card. We'll get to that in a second. But he was supposed to miss the next match. FIFA came out and suspended that punishment for a year so that he was able to play in the next game. That has never happened in the history of the World Cup at minimum. I don't think it's ever happened in FIFA, period, if I remember correctly.
I've never heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, so this is completely unprecedented. The world is just freaking out about it, and they're super pissed off. So, first of all, ReeKeePea, the question that we have is, do politics influence the World Cup? Yes or no, first of all?
Well, now the answer I have to give is yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it looks like it does. I think soccer or football has been so popular that we've heard of a lot of stories, political or not political, about how it influences some matches in soccer, maybe not at the World Cup level, but at lower level, like the Colombia team players didn't want to come back to Colombia because they lost and they were scared they were going to get killed and whatnot. So I'm not sure if that is political or not, but in some way, I guess it is.
To some degree, yeah.
Yeah, to this level of World Cup and have because it's really publicly acknowledged by the people that called the other people that received the call to say, yeah, we've talked, and he told me to suspend the red card, and so I guess the answer is yes. Now it does have an impact, and it shouldn't, because as an entity afterward, what kind of message do you give out to the world? Like, hey, just have your political leader call us when you're not happy with your nation team, and we'll see what we can do about it.
So there's so many layers to this, and I think you kind of touch on a couple of them here. So first and foremost, my answer, generally speaking, is yes, because they're just, how do you have a World Cup without nations involved? Nations by their nature are political. So there's going to be some level of politics involved. Like you mentioned with going to a country and being fearful of your life, things like that. If Russia in the Olympics, for instance, wasn't allowed to participate for a while because of what they did politically.
Yeah, true.
So there are definitely politics involved in the World Cup. I think there's no doubt of that. But I think the bigger question is can politics actively influence the World Cup like people have said here with Donald Trump? So people said that Donald Trump called the head of FIFA and said, you need to get rid of this red card. It wasn't a red card. And then they said, okay, yes, and then got rid of it. Like, that is vastly different than, levying punishment on a country for what they have done politically. First of all, do you think that claim that the president of the United States called FIFA up and said, get rid of this red card, and they said, yes, because you're the president of the United States, we're going to do that. Do you think that happened?
Well, part of it happened. So President Trump did call the FIFA president. That's a fact.
Yes,
he said
that is a fact.
The FIFA president said, yes, I received a call from President Trump asking. Now, the FIFA president said that it's an independent group that does handle the cards and suspension, and they decide what they do. But that's where we're not sure of what really happened between what the president said to that group. Were they really strongly advised to cancel it or not? I don't know, but it surely looked like there's a chain there. Like, we know the first two steps were done, and then there's third step that we're not sure if it really happened or not, but it sure does like it did.
Okay, so we know that he attempted to influence it. We'll say, how about that?
Well, he did attempt.
Yes.
Confirm attempt.
He definitely attempted.
Totally.
Okay, so let's before I ask you, did they acquiesce to his attempt? That's probably the way I'll say this. Before I ask you that, so without me thinking about the politics side of it, just objectively evaluating the play, how it went about using VAR, VAR, and all of that stuff. First of all, the play itself was not a card on the field, not even a foul on the field. So I think that's a big factor to take into play. I understand VAR can overturn a ref's call on the field. I get that. So we go into the actual evaluation of it. We see it on VAR. In my opinion, it is a foul. Okay, without a doubt, it's a foul. It looked horrible because of the way it happened. It was not intentional, though, in my opinion. So now the question becomes: is it a yellow card? Is it a red card? Or is it no card? For me, it's a yellow card. There's no intent. There's no malice. It's a dangerous play, yes, but not a red card in my opinion. What are your thoughts on the foul itself?
There's one thing I forgot. Did he have a yellow card already to his name?
No,
right? He was clean. So because if you already have a yellow, it's another yellow is an automatic
it's an automatic red. Yeah.
It wasn't. So,
and even then, I think that's a soft red, if I remember correctly, with how they do this. They've tweaked the rules over the past couple of years, so I could be wrong on that. But I think the soft red is just for that game only. So if you get a yellow previously, and then you get a second yellow, that becomes a soft red, so you were out for the remainder of the game. Versus a hard red is straight to a red card. You're out for that game and the next one. I believe.
Okay, I don't know that.
Chat,
so that's
chat,
very
you
possible.
can correct me on that if they've tweaked those rules.
So, but was it a foul or not? The problem is it's so subjective for every referee on every game, because if you go back to another game, Messi did pretty much the exact same thing and wasn't called a foul.
Exactly.
Right? Where Flo, because I'm not going to name his name because I don't know how to pronounce it, was called, a red card, but was probably going to be called a foul as well. So that's the problem as well. What is the actual foul in football? Like, there needs to be, but it's hard to be like every single sport. There's rules that are so subjective that it's hard to really trace a line of this is a foul, this is not a foul. In this situation, I think it was a foul, definite foul, whether it's intentional or not.
Right.
Even if it's not intentional, if you hit someone in the head with your fist, even if it's not intentional, you should be punished for that. Right. Right.
Yeah,
So definitely a foul, but it needs to be consistent as well everywhere else. So even if it's Messi, yes, we know he's an amazing player. He still needs to be fouled because it's a foul.
Right.
But
and so the Messi one I'll use as an example here. So the Messi foul, which was definitely a foul. It was the same situation. His cleats are on the back of the leg of another player. The difference with that one is it was intentional. Like he was looking directly where his foot was going and intentionally hit that player on the leg. Now, he may not have intended to hurt him with malice, let's say, but he was very cognizant and aware of what he was doing versus Flo was not. Like when the whole process started, he was actually in front of the defender and the defender swung his leg under. He swept his leg. It'd be a foul or it'd be a penalty in hockey, like for sweeping his leg out from under him. Like exactly. So like it definitely was not intentional with Flo in particular versus Messi, where it was intentional. That's why I said like I don't even know that it should have been a yellow. I get that it was a dangerous play. It was a dangerous outcome, is what I should say. So I get the yellow.
I think it was a maximum yellow for sure.
Yes.
Just because of the type of spike going on the leg specifically.
Right.
But then you go back to a Canadian game where our number 8, Ismael Kone, got badly injured. I'm not sure if you saw that. Like his foot was literally like hanging.
Unfortunately, I missed the Canada game. I was not available.
Okay, like one of the first game, and it was not intentional. Like just a bad play. The guy put his foot in front, and the bone literally snapped.
Oh man.
You can hear it. If you listen to the audio, you actually hear it snap. And yes, there's a yellow card on this, but not even a red card. So you can snap the leg of someone, get a yellow card, but then the other one didn't. I don't know. Where's the line? Where's the thing, right?
Right. So that's a good point. So there's we need a more clear line. And so I was watching The Herd. It's a radio podcast here in America, Colin Cowherd. And he was talking about how there needs to be another level of card. There needs to be like an orange card, which is ironic with the politics. But anyway, there needs to be like the yellow, the hard red, and then there needs to be one in between, because where basically that's the one where you are sent off for the game, but not the next game. That's why I said that like a soft red versus a hard red. So I'm guessing based on that conversation that FIFA in the World Cup does not have a soft red anymore. Versus when I was growing up playing soccer, we had a soft red and we had a hard red, and there were differences in how those were enforced. So even then, even if we had a soft red, let's call it, I still don't think it goes to that level. Like the outcome was bad, yes, but there was no malicious intent in it, and that's the problem. They used VAR to look at the result and immediately determined that was malicious because of the result, without watching it in full speed and realizing it's completely incidental, not even intentional. So I have a whole problem with the way that they went about doing that. And in my opinion, it was wrong. The call was wrong. They got it wrong, both on the field is debatable, but definitely with VAR and review, it was wrong. So the reason I bring this up so much is because that has a heavy influence on whether I do or do not believe whether politics created the end result. So do I think that they listened to Donald Trump and actually did what he said? No. I think that they reviewed the footage, they reviewed all of the arguments, and with some social pressure, I think, applied, and I'm not saying just the politics side, but I think just from media in general.
And being hosted in America as well.
So that's another question. I don't think that honestly has anything to do with it either, because it depends. It depends on how you look at it. But I think the number one factor here is they agreed that it was the wrong call. It should not have been a red card. Now, here's where my problem is, and this is where they screwed up. If they feel that it shouldn't have been a red card, they should have rescinded the red card, not suspended the red card. That's the problem here. Because when you suspend the red card, that's telling you that they still think the punishment's correct. They just don't want him to miss this tournament.
That's one of the problems. I think that's definitely one of the main problems. But if both president of America and FIFA shut the fuck up and doesn't say that they called each other,
That's true too. Yeah.
we're not having this debate. We're not saying political has an impact or not, because if you don't say that you call the FIFA president and then the red card just disappears, we're like, oh, right, they reviewed it.
Yeah.
And we now we're having this discussion of why are they delaying it instead of just removing it?
Right.
That's not the thing, right? So, but because they're both saying, yeah, we discussed that topic, then now there's another layer to this where we said, well, our politics really getting into those sports and major events? And now, the answer is kind of yes in a sort of way.
Yeah, they definitely FIFA and they have a history of doing this, just doing things that are dumb, straight up dumb. And when people are like, oh, there's no politics involved, they're like, no, they just did this thing which is really freaking dumb that screams politics were involved. They have a vast history of that. Speaking of which, that kind of leads us into our over-under here. So there is a very, very, very strong contingent of teams that are always the big primary competitors in the World Cup. Always. And you brought up a great point. I'll let you point this out. But if we look at the current quarterfinals and what's going to come about that. So here are the teams that remain right now, guys. France, Morocco, Spain, Belgium, Norway, England, Argentina, Sweden. Switzerland. I keep saying Sweden for that one. Switzerland.
I said the same thing earlier.
Yeah. Only 2 of those teams are not European. And right now, it is not only a guarantee that 2 European teams are going to get into the semis, it is a guarantee that it's not a guarantee that one of them. Yeah, no, because they are on separate brackets. It's pretty much a guarantee, in my opinion, that one of them is going to be in the finals. It just shows, again, in my opinion, that FIFA has favorites. They want these big name teams in all the time. They do things to get them into position to do well. And so, it's just another example, in my opinion, how politics are involved in this, unfortunately.
I disagree. I disagree with that point, though, because
I
think countries are good at their sport. If you look at ice hockey, it's always the same team going into finals and semifinals. It's Canada, US, Finland, Sweden, Russia, Czech. Right. It's like the top 8 teams are always close to the same teams. And I think you would look at baseball, it would probably be the same as well. It's US, Japan.
You're talking about World Baseball. Okay, World Baseball.
Sorry.
I'm thinking of MLB.
Okay. That's another topic. But I agree with that point for MLB. Yeah. But no, on the world stage, you'll look at the Olympics. Some countries will do better in the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, that's true.
Than summer because of their infrastructure, because of the popularity of sports in that country. Mexico is a crazy football country, right? They love that sport and they have a good team. Mexico is usually a good team. And if you look at all the winners of the FIFA World Cup, they're all in that same. Well, they say it's a triangle, but it's in that same line. It's Argentina, Brazil, and then all the European teams. It's always those teams.
So you're
but
telling
it's just because they're good.
So you're telling me that other than Brazil and Argentina, it's all European teams.
A lot of. Is there another non? Argentina, Brazil are the only South American team that won the World Cup, I think. So the rest is Europe. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's because Europe. That's because Europe has a strong connection with football. There's not a lot of hockey in Europe. There's not a lot of baseball in Europe as well, or whatnot. So soccer is the predominant team. That's why the Premier League is there as well.
I'm gonna keep wearing my aluminum foil hat, sir. That's all I'm gonna say. Let us know in the comments, folks. Do you guys think that that politics influences the keyword here, the World Cup? Real quick, over under ReeKeePea, 2.5 European teams in the semis.
Oh, it's gonna be over.
It's gonna be over.
We already have 2.
2 are guaranteed.
2 guaranteed. France, I think, is going to win over Morocco, but Argentina is going to win over Switzerland.
See, I think Argentina beat Switzerland pretty easily. I think Morocco can beat France. Morocco is really good.
They're like 7th seed, I think, in the world.
Yeah,
I
think
know
6
that's a
is
good
what
team.
I saw. 6
or 6th.
Yeah,
But no, I don't know. I trust the France. The oui
France is really
baguette.
good. They're probably the number 1 team in my opinion.
But they've won the World Cup,
Right.
so they know what it takes.
If anybody can beat them, in my opinion, at this point, it's probably Morocco. So we'll see. I think that's going to be a great game. I really want to watch that one. But let us know in the comments, guys. Do you think politics influence the World Cup? And are you taking the over or under for our 2.5 European teams in the semis? Did you want to say something, ReeKeePea?
But yes, to go back to your comment about FIFA trying to put their favorite team, if they would have done that, then Portugal would have still been in the loop and have Cristiano Ronaldo doing his last World Cup, try to go as far as possible.
Maybe. I mean, they still have to be able to win games. Like, there's some degree of you have to
which means that you have to have a good team.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm sure FIFA doesn't like Canada on like the World FIFA Cup there. We're not a soccer country, but we've been doing our historic moment this year in soccer. We've never been this good ever. So
yeah. I think with me, I think it's money. They want the high viewership numbers is what they want with these teams. So like a team like Portugal is not going to bring in high viewership numbers, but Cristiano Ronaldo might.
Ronaldo will get
right. He might get the viewers. Now, but like I said, the country of Portugal itself, nobody cares about. Ronaldo,
no.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with you and not at the same time. So, but I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts on the matter. Whether you are in chat live here or watching this afterwards or listening to it afterwards, let us know in the comments below. All right. Next up, we've got
Galaxy of Gaming.
So this is, I think, going to be a fun one, ReeKeePea, because we've done some debates of story-driven games versus social games before, and in this case, this one's kind of a social game, but not always. We have not talked about crafting games before, so I think this is going to be an interesting topic here. We're going to be talking about crafting games versus story-driven games, folks, and specifically with gaming, the gaming category here, we do a reasonable versus ridiculous statement. So I'm going to make a statement, and then we are going to decide whether that statement is reasonable or ridiculous. So, ReeKeePea, our statement for today is crafting games are better than story-driven games.
Your statement, sir, I hate how you phrase your statement, though, because are better, like better in what? But anyway, I think your statement is ridiculous.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so you prefer story-driven games?
That's not what I'm saying, and I'm not saying I prefer, but they're not better, right?
Okay.
So I think that the big difference is crafting games have a high replayable content, like a high replayable value. You'll go back and replay Minecraft or Valheim or, games that every time you play, it's a different world, it's a different thing. But you will always remember that single time you played that one amazing story game. You will remember Jedi Fallen Order when, I don't want to do any spoilers, but, like those games are amazing. Oh, yeah, you're frozen or.
Uh-oh. I don't know whether that's me or you, ReeKeePea. Oh, wait, nope.
I'm not sure. I think we're kind of back.
You're kind of back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's me or you as well. I'm looking at my computer. Everything seems low, but maybe it's internet.
Okay. You're good now. You're good.
All right, Mr. Roboto.
I was afraid we were going to have to reset
for
a second there. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we're good. You're going to remember that story game. You're not going to replay that game, but you're going to remember it because of how good the story was. I still remember StarCraft 2 and the whole story development of that game and how amazing it was, and it felt like a movie for me. and the Jedi, the two Jedi games with Cal Kestis as well, Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. Like, I haven't really replayed those games, but holy hell, they're in my top games. And I still go back to play Minecraft to start a new world from time to time, but that's just like to play because it's fun. But I don't think that their crafting games are better for replayable value, but story games are better than crafting game for moment, like feeling moment, or
like impact,
and yeah, exactly. Like, I played Split Fiction with Rad last summer.
Okay.
And that game blew my mind how amazing it was. And it's probably in my top 3 games that I've played in my whole life. So,
So excuse me. Let me ask this question. So when you think of crafting games, do you think of them, and I know he's roboing again right now. We'll see if it fixes itself again or not. Do you think of crafting games as being social games? Because, like, for me, I always think of crafting games as being social games. Like, I've never played a non-social crafting game before. And I think that has a big impact on that compared to story-driven games, which tend to be not social games.
They're definitely more social for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, crafting games are more fun playing as a group.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going through what's the pirate game right now?
Windrose.
That I'm playing with Windrose. I'm playing
Yeah.
Windrose with Rad. Trying to go through the thing.
Nice.
Played Grounded 2 with the Wolf recently as well in the Raft. Definitely more fun as a group. I think we got together for a Valheim game as well back in the days where it was my first time playing, but everybody was advanced. And I didn't know what to do, and I got killed by a tree
By
falling
trees?
down on
Yes,
me.
nice.
But yes, crafting games are definitely more social. And where story games are definitely one player, for some exceptions like Split Fiction, which are a story game with 2 players. But like, with your statement, are they better than story? I think story for me. I'll take a single storytelling game over any crafting game anytime.
So before I give my answer with this, do you think, so obviously every individual person is going to have a different answer for this.
Yeah.
I don't think that's debatable. But do you think that generations, we'll say, would have a different answer with this? So specifically what I'm thinking of is, like, if I asked my niece, who is 13, whether she prefers games like Minecraft and Roblox and Lego World, which I know she loves, or does she prefer playing Jedi Fallen Order or God of War? I mean, she doesn't play those, but you get the idea. She would pick crafting games all day, every day, without a doubt.
Just like I would ask my 11-year-old son the same question, and he would pick crafting game over. I don't think he played a single story-driven game yet.
Yeah.
Even if I showed him a couple, I think he doesn't have the patience or the interest of going through and developing something through a storytelling game.
Right.
So, because for them, they're like, when they're young, they're all about creation and arts and more like developing how they think. So I think that the crafting games are definitely more attractive for younger players for sure.
I see that.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing, like, I immediately thought of, because, like, my answer is story-driven games are definitely better first and foremost. Like, I am team story-driven games. I am, for the most part, team solo games. I don't mind social games, but I definitely prefer the solo story-driven stuff. I just think it's so much more immersive and, like we said earlier, impactful compared to crafting games. But I think that your age has a major impact on your answer with this. Like you said, because of your maturity / attention span, things like that, I think that has a big impact in it. I totally agree with your replayability point as well, by the way, because without a doubt, I mean, like Valheim is a good example. Like, we played that, God, it was probably 2 or 3 years that we played that, maybe not all consistently, but we played that for a super long time compared to, like, Jedi Survivor. Or which one's Survivor's the most recent one. I played that for maybe 2 months, and then I'm done. I haven't played it since. Even though it has some open world elements to it, and I can really play more of it. Once I finished the story, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm good, you know. So that's definitely a factor. But I still, man, you're saying the statement crafting games are better than story-driven games is ridiculous, yes?
Correct.
Guys, it's absolutely ridiculous. ReeKeePea is absolutely correct, guys. Story-driven games vastly superior to crafting games, in my opinion, and ReeKeePea's opinion. It's canon
because it's like you're watching a movie, but you're actually participating in it.
Yes.
Like how many times you're watching a movie and you're like, this guy punched the other guy or something. Like, so definitely.
Totally agree. Guys, let us know in the comments. Do you agree, disagree on that? I can't wait to hear all of the little 12-year-old Call of Duty people out there being like, you're so wrong, blah, 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 and say all their swear words at me and everything. And then I just ban them from the channel, and I'm like, suck it. Anyway, let us know your thoughts, folks. All right, next topic we got.
Musical news 8.
This one is going to be spicy, I think. For anybody that is a fan of this particular genre, it's going to be spicy. We usually keep things pretty broad here. So for anybody that's unaware, for the music category, we do an A versus B discussion. And we typically keep things pretty general and broad. Today, because ReeKeePea and I both have a strong affinity for the same specific genre, we're getting into some details here today, guys. Which is the better punk rock group? Blink-182 or The Offspring?
Such an evil question.
I know. It's like, does this make everybody else just be like, I hate you? Why would you ask that?
Which one of your kids do you love the most? And you have to answer. Like,
yeah, right. It's like that movie. Oh, what was the movie called? The Good Child or something like that, where like she's holding two kids on the cliff and she has to choose which one she lets go. The Good Son, I think is what it was. Like, it's like that kind of scenario. You're like, no. So, okay, first of all, so you are a punk rock fan, yes?
Absolutely.
Ditto, sir. I would argue punk rock is probably my favorite genre. And you can kind of get into like debates over what is punk rock versus, you know, other types of things. Like, so for me, my number one group is Fall Out Boy. They're my absolute favorite group. I consider them to be punk rock. It's debatable how far into that genre they fall into, but you guys get the idea. It's that basic genre that we're talking about here with this. So, ReeKeePea, first and foremost, Blink-182, The Offspring. Are you familiar with both of these groups?
A lot of them. I've seen them live. I've played their song on guitar. I've played their song with my bands. I've wrote songs being inspired by them as well. So I'm very familiar with both of them. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. For me personally, this is going to sound crazy to me and probably to other people. I'm probably more familiar with The Offspring than I am Blink-182. I am familiar with both groups. I listened to both groups a lot growing up. I'm a big fan of both of the groups. But I had multiple CDs or what's the word I'm looking for?
Tape cassettes?
Albums. No, I don't think I had any tapes for The Offspring. I'm pretty sure they were all CDs. Albums was the word I was looking for. I had multiple albums for The Offspring versus Blink-182. I never had any of their albums. I just had like a single that they put out on like a mix of different songs, that kind of a thing. So I definitely am a little broader in terms of my knowledge of The Offspring, than I am 182. But I am a big fan of both of these groups. So, well, we'll get straight to it, ReeKeePea. Which one's better?
Oh God. So wait, that's not your question. Your question is not which one's better. It's which is like related to punk rock.
Oh, no. You're trying to cop out on this.
No, your question is better punk rock group.
So take out the adjectives. Better group.
Oh, God damn it.
If we're gonna, unless my grandma was an English teacher, I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna get to the core of what the question is.
If you made this just better group, then you made this question definitely more easy for me. And it's Blink 182.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that there is a distinction. I mean, there obviously is, but you're saying that Blink 182 is less punk rock than the Offspring. Is that what you're trying to say here?
That's what I would tend to say.
Okay.
Like if you look at the definition of punk rock, which band brought punk rock on the table, like, the Ramones and the Clash and the Sex Pistols, I think that Offspring, the early Offspring at least, was definitely closer to that than what Blink was. I think when Blink started, like with the Dude Ranch album, which was fast punk rock.
Yeah.
It was more fast melodic punk rock. But where Offspring was like sticking on the real heavy punk rock, or like the trash punk rock, which was more of the root of what punk rock actually is.
Right.
So that's why, yes, better punk rock group. Even if Blink 182 is like part of my soul, I would say Offspring is a better punk rock group in general than Blink. But better group, I'd say Blink 182, just because of how massive they grew and how they brought pop punk into the punk rock world in a better way.
Interesting. So if I were to do that question, which is which one is, so the way I would describe this is, which group is the more prototypical punk rock group, I should say, then that's the way I would word that to do that question. But I think it's still a very valid point that you're bringing up. And I agree with you, by the way. I do think the Offspring is the more, prototypical. They're the more genre defining punk rock of the two groups here, for sure. Like Blink 182, I would almost argue barely fits into that category. I think they fit more. Oh, God, I'm gonna make so many people mad right now. I would label them more as pop rock than I would punk rock. Now that's by today's view. Like back in the 90s, I would not have said that, to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
But by today's standards, they are much more pop feeling and sounding, in my opinion, than, well, the Offspring is, for instance, clearly. Versus they are clearly, in my opinion, punk, without a doubt.
I wouldn't remove punk from Blink 182 just because of, there's always a punk aspects in every album still as of this day, right?
Right.
They're more they're gonna experiment, like experimental punk, experimental pop punk, maybe.
Yes,
I would maybe add that, because like Travis Barker as the drummer would add so many non-punk riffs to their songs while keeping it the pop punk kind of the guitar feel to it.
Yes.
Regardless. So I think adding experimental but not removing the punk from it, but removing the rock from the punk to them instead. I think that would make more sense in sort of a way.
There's a lot of different, and I think that's one of the reasons, like I said, that like in SVR in chat talks about it being emo rock. Like there are so many labels for this type of music, in that alternative emo punk, to some degree grunge. I think that's a bit different, but still they're all very, very much related. Acid rock, as Ray Rock said in chat. Like
I like acid rock,
yeah. Like they're all connected in different ways, and you can have different, like you mentioned. The drummer might play one style, the guitar might be a different style, the lyrics, the melodic approach might be different style. Like, so you can have these overlapping aspects of the group for sure. Which I think leads into kind of what you were talking about. So like the more prototypical punk group being the Offspring, but the better group, and again, this group I think transcends genres more for sure, being Blink 182. Do you think, so I just mentioned that, like they're more transcendent of genres. Does that impact why you think they're the better group?
No, not for me. No,
Okay.
for me, it's just because of how there's a personal aspect to my life with that band.
Okay.
Like, I was this shy guy, not talking to everybody, getting bullied and everything at school. And then Blink 182 showed me music, showed me power in the punk rock style of music. And also kind of, you can say I'm gonna fuck my dad on stage and it doesn't matter much. You just don't care about people. And like, get out of this bubble or crack out of my egg and be less shy and define me as a person and as a musician, because I would go on stage and sing the dirty songs from Blink on stage with my band, and my band was like, "Are you done? Just like, okay, play the fuck a dog song, and then let's move over to our other song." So
that's a very good point, because like from a lyrical standpoint, so I'm not as familiar with Blink 182 in terms of the entire spectrum, but their lyrics that I am familiar with, at least, are much more, in my opinion, introspective than that of The Offspring. The Offspring, to me, they're more like just breaking social norms approach.
Which is more punk rock.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Like in a mentality, right?
Right, yeah. So versus the introspective expressionism aspect of things that I think Blink-182 achieved more. It's so weird that I'm talking about this, like, because I never talk about lyrics ever. But this is one instance where I do have some knowledge of the lyrics of these two groups. So it's weird. Normally, I feel like I am like on the opposite stance on our music topics than our guests, like because of my classical knowledge background, I tend to have a very different viewpoint and perspective on things. But I am 100% with you on this, man. I think The Offspring is the prototypical punk group, but as the question is stated, in my opinion, the better group is Blink-182. I just think that they're better. They transcend more things. There's more depth to their music in particular than there is in Offspring's music. And okay, here's where some of my background will come into play. The Offspring follows a blueprint. Blink-182 does too, to some degree, but they will venture outside of that blueprint and experiment, like you said. The Offspring, this is where they're more of a pop band than Blink-182 is. Like, they just repeat the same formula over and over and over again. Like, literally, you could listen to like 3 of their songs and you might think they're the same song when they first start, because it's the same power chords over and over again. It's the same rhythmic riff that they've got going on. Like, it's just very easy to see how that's just a cycle and they just reproduce what they think works. And I'm team variation. I like people that can branch outside of one domain.
Yeah, but they've done just enough Offspring to sort of like continue to grow and like continue to take that space in the music industry, whereas other punk rock bands like Bad Religion and Pennywise, how legendary they are, album after album, it's usually the more of the same thing than Offspring is the same thing,
right?
Like they keep this really the same recipe to it, where Offspring tends to try a little bit to go outside. Like Pretty Fly for a White Guy and Why Don't You Get a Job are very different than all the Smash album hits that was on there.
Yes,
they're like day and night.
Right. It's funny. The ones that I know the best are those two. Like, those are the two that I know really well. And admittedly, okay, so SVR in chat.
SVR, nice.
So for anybody that is watching this after the live recording of this, we do live record this over on Twitch. There is a live active audience that is participating in the chat as we record this. He brings up the fact that I always say if it's after the 1950s, I don't know about it. And that's mostly true, except here's why I know about the Offspring so much. Because we played a bunch of their music in the marching band. in high school. And so I was like, oh, I want to listen to the original versions of this. And so I listened to a bunch of their CDs because we played Pretty Fly for a White Guy in particular. And there was another one too. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But that's where I first learned about them, was in marching band. Like, so yes, I'm still a nerd, guys. Don't worry. Don't get all worried and flustered. Like, how does Shawk know about this? It's because of marching band. So anyway,
and you see, the Offspring are now staying relevant because they did a new song Well, Dexter, the singer, did a new song with Electric Callboy, which Electric Callboy is now like the current band, like that's really growing right now.
Yeah.
And there's a new song which Electric Callboy featuring the Offspring.
Oh, that's
and,
cool.
I tagged you and you responded to that tag in your Discord.
Oh. That doesn't mean I've actually watched it though. Like,
no,
to be clear.
But you're supposed to do a react to that.
So I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was while I was on my vacation too.
That's possible. That's possible.
So I reacted to it to acknowledge that I saw it. That does not mean that I actually paid attention to it. And part of that's because I do try to go into my reaction videos completely blind, so that everything is authentic about my reaction. So
right.
But anyway, I'm just making excuses at this point. But anyway, so we've made our points pretty obvious here, guys. We're both team Blink 182, despite all of the positives that we mentioned about the Offspring. Mm-hmm. Let us know in the comments, guys. Where are you? Are you team Blink 182? Are you team Offspring? Do you agree that we think one is definitely more prototypical punk than the other? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on the matter, folks. All right, moving on to our fourth topic.
Scintillating cinema.
ReeKeePea loves the transitions. All right, we got scintillating cinema, guys. This is gonna be a fun one, especially because we are like right in the heart of the summer blockbuster season here for movies. And ReeKeePea saw one. I actually, crazy enough, I have not seen any summer blockbuster movies yet. Usually in July, in particular, I'll go and I'll watch a bunch of them from like May and after that are still in the theaters for cheap. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. So I'm intrigued to talk about this with you because I want to find out the tea. I want to find out which ones that have been out are crap so I can avoid them. So our topic for today is summer blockbuster remakes. Remakes, guys, to be clear with this, means not necessarily that this is a second or third version of an already made movie. This is a remake of a pre-existing IP. So for an example here, like Masters of the Universe just came out this summer. That's a remake of an existing IP with He-Man. I used the example with a couple years back, they had the Battleship movie. That's a remake of an IP. Again, there was no movie that existed prior to that, no TV show, anything like that, but it's still kind of a remake of an IP. So it
wasn't a remake for me. Like make something out of an IP.
Right. Yeah. So you get the idea, though, guys. It's some kind of a pre-existing IP and or media, we'll say, that is being done as a summer blockbuster, and our thoughts on that as a general idea. So first of all, ReeKeePea, before we get into the thoughts on this as a general idea, which summer blockbusters have you seen so far this summer?
I've seen Masters of the Universe.
Okay.
And I think that's it for like this summer's blockbuster. I haven't seen Mandalorian yet.
Oh, I have not either. Okay, interesting.
Even if I was looking to go at the premiere and it just didn't happen, and I've been looking to watch it, but yeah, I haven't seen. Supergirl, I think, was another of the blockbuster I haven't seen, but I didn't hear. Well, it's not a remake, but
that just came out recently, though, didn't it?
Yeah, late June. Like it's been a week or two.
Yeah, within a week. Yeah, a week or two. Okay.
Yeah. And
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Masters of the Universe? Non-spoiler version.
I grew up watching He-Man.
Okay.
As a cartoon on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and watch He-Man, kick the ass out of Skeletor, and jump on his tiger. I loved it. I had the sword. I would yell in the house, "I have the power!" And my mom would go, "Shut up! I'm still sleeping." But I loved He-Man. So I was going in with high expectations, or maybe not high expectation, but high, like I'm going back, to
High
watch some
excitement, at least.
excitement. Yes, not expectation, but excitement.
Anticipation, I think, is the word. We're
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. Not because because I didn't have high expectation because I know it's hard to get a kids show as a cartoon and transition it into like a real life movie.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in here in a minute. Yeah.
And oh my god, was I disappointed?
Yeah, not good, huh?
No, they. When you try too hard, but then not hard enough, you're like in that middle where you try to be something without really believing in it. That's exactly where that movie.
That's usually what I'm like when I've got whiskey involved in the equation. But anyway,
I've watched Mortal Kombat 2, and they just go hard on what Mortal Kombat is.
Yes,
gore, fighting, killing, blood, and it works because that's what we are, and you know what? We'll just be what we are.
Right.
But that's where Masters of the Universe kind of like we're trying to be Marvel, but we're trying to be cartoon, but we're trying to be funny, but we're trying to be dark and serious, and we're trying to be trendy, but we're trying to be 1980s. Like, just decide, be one or the other. Like,
right.
Stop trying to be both.
That's a really good point, because in my opinion, the most successful blockbusters, summer blockbusters, are the ones that just keep the story simple and focus on the core aesthetics of the IP. So like you said, Mortal Kombat, that's a great example. So like the Mortal Kombat game itself doesn't really have a story. You advance through the players in a tournament. Yes, there's a basic concept of it, but there's no pre-existing story. So if we go in to watch this movie, we don't give a crap about a story. We just want to see all of these iconic characters face off against each other and kill each other and beat the crap out of each other. Like, that's what we're looking for. So that's what they focused on, and they just had minimal story to kind of connect all of those things together. Like, and that's all we need. Versus, like, I'll use Battleship as an example here. And I understand Battleship, it didn't have any story at all. It's just a game. It's a board game, okay? But they made this super long, drawn-out scenario and story involved. In my opinion, they were trying to replicate Transformers was the problem. But we didn't get to the actual gameplay of the game until, like, 2 hours into the movie. Like, that is not staying true to the actual IP, what the thing was at its original core. And that's your problem when these summer blockbusters suck compared to are awesome, is because they try, like you said, they try to make it something that is not, it makes it difficult to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which is John, who brings up a good point with this. Which Mortal Kombat player do you prefer?
Oh, I'm a Sub-Zero guy.
Sub-Zero, okay.
I actually dressed up as Sub-Zero one Halloween, where with my mother she helped me make like a homemade Sub-Zero suit.
Oh, nice.
It was very, very cool.
I'm Scorpion, so similar vein.
Yeah, yes, but you know what? I always thought that Scorpion was the bad guy and Sub-Zero was the good guy. Always. And then like the movies came out, and I'm like, no, Sub-Zero is the bad guy.
I was the same way. I thought Scorpion was the bad guy. Well, so there's been a couple different movies of Mortal Kombat, and I think in one of them they both were bad guys, if I remember correctly.
Because they were from the same clan, probably. So,
something like that. Well, even if they were like warring factions or whatever, like there was one I think where they were all being controlled by somebody. And,
maybe.
And I think that's where they were villains, because I want to say Reptile was in that one as well.
Probably.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to see which one you were. But the Transformers. So this is a great point that somebody brought up in chat. Transformers, I feel like, is kind of a rare exception, because they, in my opinion, focused a lot on story, and they really, really went to long lengths to establish a story. and at times they got right into the action, but it was not as action driven as I thought it would be. Like a Mortal Kombat, for instance, they focus way more on the story. Now, I get the Transformers was a cartoon, so there is more story to use. But here's my problem with that, and this is kind of what you alluded to earlier. Cartoons are like 20-minute, let's be honest, it's a 30-minute show, but it's 20 minutes of actual content. Quick-witted kids cartoon that does not translate to a movie theater for 2.5 hours. Like, so even though there are stories in cartoons, I don't think it necessarily translates to movies. Agree? Disagree?
It does. I think it does translate when you do it, but you have to do it well. I mean, if you take the whole Marvel thing, they're all cartoons. They're comic books / cartoons at the same time.
Right, yeah, it's the same thing, yeah.
They all translate well to movies, right? Transformers, I think, translate it well into movies in a way. I mean, did you watch the last? Well, no, it's a cartoon movie.
I did not watch that one. The
Transformer
animated?
1? Transformer 1?
I didn't see the animated one. I heard it was really good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was literally good.
So here's something I'll say with that though. Comics in particular, even though the format tends to be short, the stories for those particular comics tend to be very long arching stories. Versus cartoons. Now there are exceptions to this. You might have some episodes
Transformers,
right, where you have like a 2 or 3 episode arc. I mean, the Clone Wars is a really good example of this. They would do like 3 or 4 episode arcs within each episode. But if you don't have that scenario, so like I think of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they didn't tend to have a lot of long multiple episode arches. They were for the most part just single episodes. And that's one of the reasons I think that they suck in general, minus the original 2 that came out. The third one was
the first 2.
Yes, the first 2 were good. But they also I think they used a lot of the lore and pre-existing conflict to help build that. So that worked a little bit better. Kind of like what Transformers did to some degree, at least for the beginning part of it.
Yeah, but it's just how you do it. And like the first 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were done well translating into movies, where the other ones after, they just wanted to do the blockbuster hit, and they just added Megan Fox and say, let's put turtles around her and make money.
Right.
So that's not how you make the movie. April O'Neil wasn't because that wasn't the point.
Sorry, April O'Neil wasn't what? You cut out.
Hot.
Hot. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something super vital. I figured that's what you said.
Yes, big deal. Ghostbusters.
That's another good one, yeah.
Another very good one where the original movie and even the reboot. That's another blockbuster that I think is good. Like, it's not a remake, but it's like a continuation of the IP. But I love the new IP with Paul Rudd and the Stranger Things kids and everything. It's very well done.
I have not watched the new ones. I need to get on that.
They're good.
I've seen mixed opinions on it. Like I've seen some. So it's the story always with summer blockbusters. Like critics always say they're terrible, but then the audience loves them for the most part. Like that's the thing. Most of what I'm thinking of is probably bad critics reviews. I did not pay attention to that with blockbusters, summer blockbusters. Critics are idiots when it comes to that stuff. Like, let's be honest here. So, but yeah, I'm with you on a lot of that. The story aspect of comics, I think, play a lot easier than cartoons, but it can still be done. It can still be done. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the general concept now of remakes. You're taking, I don't want to say remakes, I guess is the wrong word, but re-envisioning a pre-existing IP. Let's say that. Do you think the concept of doing that, 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down, 2 thumbs down?
1.
Okay.
1 thumbs up.
I can get behind that. Like 2 thumbs up if done correctly and really well, and it's a format that translates well. But that's not always the case, and people are about the money, like you said.
Which is why my 1 thumbs up, because like I love the nostalgia part of reimagining older stuff, but yeah, sometimes it sucks. So that's why, like, well, it's cool, but don't fuck it up. Like, don't. It's always something like that.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, man. I'm gonna say 1 thumb up as well, guys. I think the general concept of it is a good thing. I like summer blockbusters. I want them to continue doing them. I just make a good story if you have stories, or just embrace the feel. I don't want to say aesthetics because that's not the right word. The feel. I don't know.
The main the soul.
The soul, yes, thank you. The soul
of what it was at the beginning. Why it was popular at the start.
That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it. Let us know in the comments, guys. Have you seen Masters of the Universe? Do you think it's good, bad, trash? What do you think? And do you like the idea of summer blockbusters in general? Do you think they're fun, they're worthwhile, they're good? Or can you just leave it and say, nah, I'm not interested? Be interested to hear people's thoughts on that matter. Oh yeah, that was a good one. The D&D movie. That was a good one too. Anyway,
that was actually
yeah.
Hey, you know what? The
really
D&D
creative.
movie didn't get some good reviews when it came out, and got popular afterward.
Yeah,
it got like good afterwards. So respect for that movie. Actually,
yes.
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I think that's the key thing. We didn't talk about that. Like, it just needs to be fun. If it's a fun movie, people will like it. Like, that's the key thing, guys. Just make it fun.
Yes.
Speaking of fun, we're gonna do a fun topic here to finish things off, guys. We got
tiramisu tap through.
All right. So since ReeKeePea is from Canada, folks, if possible, I always try to do our tier rankings based off of something from where the person is from. Not always the case, because some people live in terrible places like Philadelphia. But on occasions like this, where we got an awesome place and an awesome person like Canada, let's talk about some Canadian things. We're going to be tier ranking Canadian staples, folks. Canadian staples. So when I say staples, this means food or drink. That's always what our tier ranking is in terms of category. It's food or drink. So we have 5 items on our tier ranking list. For anybody that's not familiar with the tier ranking in general, we have multiple tiers. S tier being the top, the best thing. A being really good. B being good. C, or as I like to call it, Canada. ReeKeePea is not going to be happy about that one.
No, I know.
The C tier, meaning it's just okay. That's why we call it Canada here. I blame Solzy for that. It's because he's just
don't
okay.
blame. It's your stream. Don't put it on someone else.
And then we have D tier, which is the very bottom. It is just terrible, guys. Nobody wants it. Now, generally speaking, when you do tier rankings, you can put anything anywhere you want to. But we like to add a rule here to make things a little more interesting. And that rule is that you can only have one item in a tier. So you have to fill in all 5 tiers, and you can only have one thing in each of those tiers. Our 5 items for today are poutine, Canadian bacon, milk bags. We'll get to that. Royal Crown, and maple syrup. Most people out there, I would think, are familiar with maple syrup. I said Royal Crown. Crown Royal, folks. Sorry.
Crown.
Wow. I did not think I had dyslexia.
Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty.
Man. Crown Royal, most people they can drink, I think, are going to know what Crown Royal is. Canadian bacon, most people are going to be familiar with. The milk bag and the poutine may be questionable, depending on where you are. So, we're going to go in order with this. We will explain each of these as we go, and we'll get into the individual placements here shortly. So, poutine, first is our number 1 here. Poutine, for those of you who don't know, is French fries.
Not the Russian leader.
Correct, yes. French fries, and I'll come back to that question in a second, because I could be wrong on that. Cheese curds and gravy on top of all of that. ReeKeePea, are there variations on the French fries?
Well, yes and no. I mean, there's ways to cook fries properly. to
Okay.
really have it good, like triple fried and everything,
Mhm.
make it crunchy on the outside, melt. But there's also like you could have like the spiral fries or whatnot.
Okay,
But
so that's kind of
usually
what I was
just
asking. Yeah.
but usually just regular fries.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Is
all of the ones I've ever had are just straight cut.
yeah.
And I don't think I've ever had that are multiple fried. They're single fry. Which I can understand mixing that up, but I think every one that I've ever had is a single fry, single cut, single fry.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
okay, so anybody that's not aware, cheese curds are not the same thing as just cheese. Like it's not just sprinkled shredded cheese on top. It is a cheese curd. Very different.
It's really and it has to be fresh from the day, like really daily fresh.
Yeah.
And in here in Quebec, we don't actually like the word that we call it is a squeak cheese. Because when you eat one, it has to do squeak between your teeth. Like it has to really do the sound to actually be the proper cheese curd to put in a poutine.
Wait. What's the sound it makes?
Squeak.
And where are you putting it to make that sound?
in your mouth.
Specifically within your mouth. What?
And you like when you eat it with your teeth? Not your tits, your teeth. Hey, excuse my French.
You said it. I was like, wait, did he just say teats?
But
That's the French Canadian in him, guys. You heard it here.
Exactly.
When you put the cheese in between your teeth, it goes a squeak.
Oh, there's a clip for you.
Right? I know. But that's going to be a short for sure. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Teeth for anyone that is not French Canadian. Teeth.
I'll say the multiple tooth.
The plural of tooth. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. All right. So poutine
and the cheese curd can be whole or sliced.
Oh.
So if it's sliced, it will melt a bit quicker and easier if you do like the melted cheese.
Okay.
In the poutine, but if you really have like you like the squeak, then you leave it as a whole.
I don't think I've ever had the sliced version. How
That's
thick,
not very common.
I was gonna say, how thick is the slice? We're not talking like strips of cheese, right?
Like roughly
like flakes.
Yeah, kind of
More like a flake than a strip.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I don't think I've ever had that. All of my cheese curds that I've ever had are like chunks.
Yeah, big chunks.
Yeah. And they seem
That's the common
They
thing.
seem ripped, if that makes sense. Like I don't think they've been sliced, like cut. I think they've been like hand ripped.
They're supposed to, exactly. They're supposed to be exactly like.
Okay, cool.
And then the gravy. Then there's like the regular brown gravy.
Oh, yeah.
There's the barbecue sauce. There's the pepper sauce, spicy. Like that has a whole other aspect. But the brown color of the sauce,
brown's what I've had.
Is what usually is the typical one, and the color has to be nice as well.
Yes, yeah. So I've always had the traditional poutine in particular. Okay, I'll go first because you're Canadian. I'll let you have the final word on poutine here. For me, I have had poutine. I have not had it from Canada specifically. I have not been to Canada since I was like 12, and I didn't have it at that time. But I have had like authentic poutine in multiple places. I've had it in Wisconsin. I had a friend who owns a hot dog stand that made authentic poutine. Like he went to Canada and studied it and like brought it back to his food truck and stuff. Like so, like I've had really, really, really good authentic poutine before, and it is phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. I can't believe I'm jumping the gun already with this, but I'm going to. Like of all of the things on this list, it's not even close. Not even close. Poutine is absolutely S tier. Like, and it blows all of the other four away. Like, if there could be a double S tier, I would put it in double S tier. It is that good.
It's very good, and it's actually very French Canadian as well, right? It's really representative of Quebec. And there's even 2 cities that are debating every year on who actually created poutine first.
Oh, really?
Like, there's a festival of poutine in each city where they say, no, we created it first here, and the other one's like, no, it came from here first and whatnot. So there's that very big debate. But regardless, there's a lot of poutine stuff going on everywhere for sure. But it's really Eastern Canada from here. And I was debating between S tier and A tier.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it S tier just because of how many varieties of poutine you can get.
Okay, I can see that.
You can get with hot dog sausage. You can get it with smoked meat. You can get it with like onions and whatnot. You can get a breakfast with eggs and bacons and a poutine and everything.
Ooh,
so just because of the variety of that, yes, poutine is going S tier top list for sure.
See, now I'm intrigued because you said your A tier one is so close. I'm intrigued to see that because, like, I think there's a vast difference between the two, in my opinion. We'll get to that though eventually. All right, guys, let us know.
I'm sure we have the same one, but yeah.
I would assume, given what's here, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, folks. Where are you putting poutine at? Have you had poutine before? And if not, what are you doing with your life? Hurry up and get some because it's amazing.
Absolutely.
Our second item we have here is Canadian bacon. I almost feel like this is cheating. Because, like, well, I think you probably are going to argue that something else should be on here other than Canadian bacon. I'll let you get to that because when I did my research for these things, I was like, I've never heard of that before, and it didn't give me Canadian bacon as a top thing to discuss. But at least in America, when we think of Canada, Canadian bacon is what we think of. Canadian bacon is just basically ham in a circle. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It tastes good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not as good as like actual bacon, but it's still good. Like if I'm eating an egg McMuffin from McDonald's, like I like an egg McMuffin with Canadian bacon. I don't mind it. It's good. Do I think it's poutine level? Absolutely not. Do I think there are other cuts of breakfast meat that are better? Absolutely. But it's something I'll eat. It's something I don't mind. So I'm gonna go B tier. Like I have no problem with it. I will consume it, and it's a breakfast meat, so B tier. What about you, ReeKeePea?
We don't even call it Canadian bacon over here.
You just call it bacon.
We call it ham.
Oh.
It's not even bacon.
Okay,
it's ham. Like bacon is bacon. It's like that crispy, very fat, and get into your butt and give it like get big when you eat it. But no, it's just ham. Like Canadian bacon is an American invention. What they wanted to call that round thing that was coming from Canada that we called ham. It's like, oh, we got Canadian bacon here. Like it's not even bacon. So yeah, it's totally an American invention to make us look weird. But like no, for me it's S A B C. Like it's C, yeah.
C tier.
So actually, you know what? I'm gonna put a D tier, like dick tier. It's the worst.
I figured you were gonna go D tier just for the fact that we call it Canadian bacon. Like I thought you were just gonna be mad enough.
I was looking at the list and like, there's nothing worse than that. Nothing goes.
Well, that's debatable. We'll get to that in a moment. Let me ask you this, ReeKeePea, because I feel like people out there aren't gonna know about this. Instead of Canadian bacon, if you could choose a different meat that is Canadian, what would you put on this list?
Oh, Canadian meat. Well, we do have a lot of chicken for sure. We're a very high chicken produced country. We do have a lot of nice beef as well. But I don't think there's much difference between your meat and my meat. And when I say this, it's very weird because that's not how I want to say it. But
we have very similar looking meats, guys.
Yeah. And I've never seen your, so I don't know how I'm comparing. But anyway, I don't think there's another Canadian meat-related stuff like.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a meat. That's where I'm wrong. It's not a meat. Sorry. I was thinking of Montreal bagels. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, but we do have good smoked meat in Montreal as well. Schwartz has been world renowned for the smoked meat in Montreal, but the Montreal bagel is also something that will challenge the New York bagel.
Americans are revolting right now.
I know.
The fact you made that statement.
I would put a Montreal bagel next to a New York bagel any day of the week.
Wow. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bagels are overrated across the board, so I'm not going to take one team or the other on this. I'm just going to eat a donut instead.
But no! Bad shot. Very bad shot.
All right, so you said D tier. I said B tier. That's a big range there. That's a big range.
Big. Yeah.
That means we're gonna have some other things that are probably not close. This is gonna get interesting, guys. Let us know in the comments where are you putting Canadian bacon, folks. Do you think it's just ham, or do you think it is actually different, or America's just trolling Canada? Okay, the next one. This is probably gonna be the weirdest one. We'll say.
Probably.
Milk bag. ReeKeePea, I'll let you explain what this is first, since it is a Canadian thing.
So, well, do you want me to show it?
Maybe I can. You can't show it.
I can or I can't.
You cannot.
Oh,
like I all I can show is you. I can.
No, I know, but I can go get it and bring it.
Oh,
I literally have
you mean
some
physically
in my fridge.
grab it. Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, if you physically have it.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about like show a picture of it, guys. I was like, I can bring up a picture and show it. The little used screen that we have. I don't know what this is going to show right now, by the way.
So,
This one. We never use the screen.
Bag. So this is how I pour my milk.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no! Wait, what?
Okay, go ahead.
Does that work? All right.
Yeah.
This is a milk bag, so this is how we. The whole. Now I hope I don't. This up. So see, there's like a whole milk in a bag, where we put in this container, and you just cut the corner, and you pour it into your glass. And I think the advantage of this is you buy, like it comes into pockets of 3. You get 3 in one single bag. It's a lot less waste of cardboard or whatnot in the regular containers, plastic, and it's cheaper as well. So yeah, milk in bags.
So
there you go.
So I want to be like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
But
so I'll preface it with this. So I think most people, when they think of milk, they envision a carton. Okay, a carton of milk. So it's like a paper mache type material that has been coated in some waterproof sealant of some kind. That's what I think most people probably have. That's what Pittsburgh uses. We use cartons for our milk. However,
and we have that too, by the way, right? Oh, not
Oh,
only
you do?
that, we have that too. We have both.
oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to come back for a question on that in a second. But
All right.
but if you venture to the east of Pittsburgh, and by the east I mean way east, like eastern PA, over by Philly, like I said,
the weird east,
yeah, the place
like
that sucks.
close to Kmart.
Yes. Over in that area, I don't know if Philly itself does it, but the outer suburban Amish territory is what I'm going to call it. It's a very Amish area of PA. They use milk bags, and I have seen it. I had a friend in college that lived out in Lancaster, PA, and they used milk bags, and it was the weirdest thing I had ever seen. I was like, you pour it out of a bag? He was like, yeah. Well, then why do you have the pitcher? Like, what's the point of the pitcher? Just put it in the pitcher. Like, why are you keeping it in the bag? It made no sense to me. He was like, no, it stays in the bag. And then we put it in the pitcher. I was like, but you just pour it in the pitcher. I don't get it. Why? So anyway, this is not uniquely Canadian. It is something that we see here in America, at least in Amishville, PA. But it is definitely a staple up in Canada. It's definitely a staple up in Canada.
Yeah.
So ReeKeePea, you mentioned something. Let me ask you this then. Why would you get a bag of milk as opposed to a carton of milk if you have both options?
You cannot get a single bag of milk. You either get 3 bags of milk or a single carton of milk. So this is a lot on quantity of milk that you want to have ready to use. So when I was young, we would drink, I think, 40 liters of milk per week. We were heavy milk drinkers. So having those 3 bags available.
How much is 40 liters?
Oh, sorry. I forgot I had to versions. 2 gallons US, that would be about 10 gallons.
That's a lot of milk.
We were heavy milk drinkers.
Wow.
Yeah, every week. So having those bags, you buy. Actually, we had a milk person deliver the milk at the doorstep of our house every morning.
Oh, you had a milkman.
Yeah, I had a milkman.
Who's your daddy?
Well, I don't know. But yeah, so I think that's the difference. Like, you cannot buy a single bag, but it comes in with 3 bags. So a person that would consume a lot of milk would probably like the bags more because it's easier to store. Like, the bag, you can really put it in the corner of your fridge or something, whereas like the whole carton takes more space, I guess.
Could you freeze the milk if it's in a bag as opposed to a carton? Like, we wouldn't freeze a carton of milk.
I never heard of someone freezing milk,
okay.
So I don't know.
I just wondered.
I guess you could, but yeah.
I mean, you can. It's ice cream pretty much, but nobody does that. So okay, I was wondering. It's interesting. I'm gonna have to ask my buddy from college whether he was only allowed to buy them in bulk or not. I think that's all they had. I don't think they had cartons. I think milk bags were the only option for them.
To go back to Baby Yoda Eye's question about and you mentioned about it, the missing person thing. It's like, I never, like, they're all transparent. Like, there's nothing on the bags.
Right.
But recently, like a month or 2 ago, I was talking to someone and I Googled it, and I've seen bags that are actually stamped with stuff around it. So
interesting.
It looks like they do that, but I've never seen that with my own eyes. So, but somewhere, probably in Eastern PA, they do that maybe, but not in Canada.
Interesting. Okay, before you give me your tier ranking, what type of milk do you drink? Skim, 1, 2, whole?
I do have kids, so I have to give them a bit of. So it's 2% milk.
Gotcha. See, I grew up on skim. I now drink 2%. I've requiesced to society.
I grew up on 3.70 or 25 or 75. I literally grew up on 3% milk. So the 10, 11 gallons per week was 3% milk that me and my brother were drinking.
That was never even an option for us. It's skim, 1, and I don't think even 1 didn't exist when I was growing up. It was skim, 2, whole. That's it. Those were your choices.
What's whole though? Whole is probably not.
It's not reduced. It's not reduced fat at all.
I mean, that's a lot of. That's a lot of.
It's
that's
straight,
like you're
straight
going
from the
to
udder.
the cow.
Yep, straight from the udder. Yep. Yeah, some people did. I grew up up in the country, so to speak. So like a lot of the people I went to school with, like, they drank whole milk because they were on farms and stuff like that. So like that was just normal for them. But anyway, I'm always intrigued to see what people drink. When I would tell them I drank skim, they're like, "What? Why are you drinking water?"
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I don't have a teat to squeak from, if you will. Yeah, great minds, SVR. Okay, where are you tier ranking bagged milk at, ReeKeePea?
That one's a bit harder. I think I'm gonna go C because it's a Canadian thing. I think the milk bag's going for Canada. I mean, I do buy the carton one when I don't have the kids. I'll buy the carton just because I drink less milk. I don't need as much. So, but it's a C thing.
I'm going D tier. Like, it's just it makes no sense in my opinion at all. First of all, period. As I've talked about, because if you buy the bag, just pour it into the container. Like, why keep it in the bag? It's dumb. It makes no sense.
No, the container is more open to air. At least
and that's my second point, sir. With a carton, I can take the lid and close it so air does not ruin the milk. With the bag, once you cut
there you go, done.
No,
done.
no, it's open.
No, it's not.
You can't reseal that. It's lost its virginity. Like it is done. It has been tainted.
When you open the gallon, it's the same. The carton, it's the same thing.
No, I can reseal it.
The air's already in it.
No, I suck it out. Yeah, with my teeth. Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's so dumb. It just doesn't make any sense. I understand from a packaging standpoint, it's probably easier for the manufacturer, but from a consumer standpoint, like, it's just stupid. Like, plus, as we've learned now, milk cartons can be recycled. I know plastic can be too, but the bigger thing is they can break down in the environment. Plastic bags can't. They last forever. You're saving the world, folks. You're saving the world by getting rid of bagged milk.
Because the carton for milk is waxed. You cannot recycle those.
Wax can get... Oh, okay. So you can't recycle it, but it can deteriorate and go away naturally. I'm pretty sure... Well, it's at least made from recycled material. I thought you could... I'm going to have to Google that now. I'm pretty sure you could recycle milk cartons. Anyway, let us know in the comments, folks. I put it in detail. Yeah, I couldn't remember what I said. Let us know in the comments, folks. Where are you putting milk bags? I'm sure everybody but Canada is saying D tier as well with me here. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts, folks. All right. The next one we have on our list here, guys, is Crown Royal, which is a Canadian whiskey. So this is our second beverage that we have on this list here. Canadian whiskey. ReeKeePea, are you a whiskey fan in general, first of all?
Yes. Absolutely. I love whiskey. I've visited a couple of whiskey places in Ireland too, so love it. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. I like whiskey as well. Actually, it's summer for me, so I don't have to work because I'm a teacher for everybody that doesn't know. Just yesterday, I was just sitting out on the back porch. Or no, not yesterday. Well, yeah, it was yesterday because yesterday was my birthday for everybody that doesn't know. So I was out on the back porch sipping on some whiskey.
Happy belated birthday!
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my God!
In celebration of my birthday. So I do enjoy a good whiskey. I don't partake in it a lot, which is weird because I do like it, but it's a more of a special occasion type thing for me, I guess is what I'll say. Oh, I know why I don't. I'm not putting that on the camera though. Anyway, but it's more of a special occasion thing for me. With that being said, I'm going to place this where you wouldn't think because I do like whiskey. I think Crown Royal is super overrated. Super overrated. Like bourbon, straight bourbon, whiskey bourbon is drastically better than Canadian whiskey in this case, which is Crown Royal. I just think Crown Royal is super overrated. It is not that good of a whiskey in my opinion. It's still whiskey, it's still good, but it ain't top tier in my opinion. So because of that, I'm going Canada. It's just okay.
And I don't disagree. Like I agree with the Crown Royal being overrated.
Okay.
Like they marketed the Canadian whiskey out of that specific brand. Mm-hmm. Like it's not amazing whiskey. It's not like, oh my God, like I'm moving to Canada because of that whiskey or what. No, definitely not.
Right.
If I'm going to the store and I want a whiskey, I'll buy Crown Royal if that's just the last whiskey on the shelf. Like I'll buy a Jameson, I'll buy before I buy the Crown Royal for sure.
Right.
So yeah. Is it better than milk bags?
Yes.
Yes, because it's alcohol. So right. That's why it's going to my B tier.
Okay.
But the B tier is still too high for me as a whiskey because we have better Canadian whiskey. than Crown Royal.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. We have one called Sortilège, a source, like a spell. Sortilège is a spell, which is a maple syrup based whiskey.
When you say a spell, you mean like
Like the
Wingardium Leviosa?
Leviosa, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Avada Kedavra. If you drink too much, you'll go Avada Kedavra on that whiskey as well. Yeah, the maple syrup Canadian whiskey is a pretty good one. Definitely better than Crown Royal, but just less, I guess, popular or marketed. So.
Interesting. Got you.
So B tier for me.
That's not bad. I can accept that. Let us know in the comments, guys. Where are you putting Crown Royal specifically? And what are your thoughts on Canadian whiskey or whiskey in general as a whole? Our final item on our tier ranking, folks, here, probably, in my opinion, the most quintessential Canadian thing on this list is maple syrup. Even though I will say I have had Vermont maple syrup, and it is just as good as Canadian maple syrup, in my opinion. It is still phenomenally good. But nobody's like, I need to go to Vermont to get some maple syrup. Like, they're going to Canada. Let's be honest here. So it is the quintessential Canadian thing in my mind. To be clear, this is not that crap fake stuff made with corn syrup. It is not that at all. And if anybody does not know the difference between those two things right now, they need to go out and they need to buy like legit organic, correct maple syrup. Even if it's not Canadian itself, you need to get the good kind. When I finally got the Vermont, that actually which converted me. Vermont, I went to Vermont for a trip like 2 years ago. Got some, and I was like, what have I been putting in my body for the last 20 years of my life? Like, the regular maple syrup sucks. So now I only ever eat like the good maple syrup, whether it's from, I get the Aldi version, the specially selected version, but still it's the same thing. It's the same Canadian thing. It's just so incredibly good. With that being said, ReeKeePea, I'll let you have the final word on this one. For me, even though it's definitely without a doubt A tier, like I said, I cannot put poutine below it. I just can't. Poutine is so much better. There's still a massive gap between the two, in my opinion. I love maple syrup. It goes so well with so many different things, but it is not as versatile, as you said, as poutine, definitely nor as savory, but nor as good in general, in my opinion. Thoughts?
I agree with you, but just because of how iconic and how natural maple syrup is and what it represents Canada, that's why I hesitated putting it S tier.
Okay.
Like, and being versatile, yes, it's just maple syrup, but you can put maple syrup on a lot of things and mix it with a lot of things, or put it on different, you can put it on, yes, your pancakes and your French toast, but you can put it on your rice if you want a little, instead of soya sauce, you can put that. So you can put it, it's very versatile in what you want to put it on as well.
I put it on some sweet potatoes the other day. Sweet potatoes with maple syrup and cinnamon. Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
That must be good.
Yeah, it was tasty.
But yeah, so that's why I hesitated before to like, is it S tier just because of how pure that thing is? And you know what? I'm sure the Vermont or Maine maple syrup is probably, it's the same kind of,
it's the same concept. Well, I mean,
they're next
door
well,
neighbors.
right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And how much different it can be pulling out of a tree where you just boil it and make it a syrup, right? So exactly. I'm sure it's pretty good as well. But I agree as well for you with like the corn syrup. Over here, we have a word for it where we say it's post syrup. So like electricity post.
Yes.
Like we would say that's the syrup that you pulled out of the electricity post. Instead of the natural maple tree. That's
love
a living
that
thing. So, and every time I go into a breakfast restaurant and I ask for syrup, they ask me, do you want the post syrup or the real syrup? I'm like, we're in Canada. Why are you even offering me the fake one?
That's so awesome. I'm going to use that now. Anytime I see something, I'm like, you have post syrup, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
It's like a dead tree giving you like... So yeah, it's an iconic thing. It's so pure and so good. There's not a lot of variety. Like there's the darker syrup, and then there's like lighter one depending on how you boil it. But other than that, yeah, it's just like pure awesomeness
It's
through my teeth.
I was gonna say, to follow our theme of the evening, it'd be like trying to get milk from a bull. Like that's just not where you should get it from, guys. You're gonna get bad
you should get
stuff.
it from a bag,
right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so you're saying A tier, correct? Not S tier. Yeah. Okay.
A tier, like that. But this is why I was.
Yeah. I get it. I get the argument. I do get the argument. It is, like I said, the most quintessential, I think, Canadian thing on this list. So
yeah,
I do get that argument. Me not being Canadian, I don't have a horse in the race of the Canadian thing. I'm just taking it for what it is. So.
Exactly.
Let us know in the comments.
SVR, no. Go away.
Aunt Jemima, yeah, no Aunt Jemima. Let us know in the comments, folks. What are your thoughts on maple syrup? Do you agree with post syrup and maple syrup? Is there a very vast difference? If you think differently, you're wrong. That's all I'm going to say. And where would you place maple syrup, specifically Canadian maple syrup, guys, in our tier ranking? I'd love to hear it. Folks, with that being said, that finishes off all of our topics. If you are still here, if you are still watching, folks, obviously that means you enjoyed the podcast. I'd really appreciate it, guys, if you like the video, if you're watching on YouTube. And I think you can do it on Spotify as well. But more importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, whether it's Spotify, Apple, whatever platform you are watching or listening to this on. Make sure you subscribe, guys. It is much appreciated and helps out immensely. With that being said, ReeKeePea, so they obviously can figure out where to find me at. Where can they find more of you at, sir?
Well, they can find me in a couple places that I haven't been really active recently. Like I do have my ReeKeePea Twitch as well, ReeKeePea, and YouTube channel where you can all find the great classics like Relic Arc and Whale Harder songs from the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community songs.
There are music videos as well, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So there's a couple of videos there. So
all you music fans out there.
Exactly. Yep. Which I recorded and played the instruments myself. So
they are very good, by the way. I've seen a lot of them, folks.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. They're not only good but also fun and funny at the same time. So highly rated.
Thank you. But if you don't know Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, you might understand all the jokes within the lyrics. But like Shaka doesn't listen to the lyrics. It doesn't matter much anyway.
Exactly. It's all noise to me. Love it, sir. Love it, man. Folks, thank you so much for being here, everybody. We will be back next week on Shawk Talk with our next guest. Again, just final thank you guys to ReeKeePea again. Can't thank him enough. He's been an awesome guest. Thank you so much, sir. Any final words before we call it an evening?
Thank you to you, Shaka, for inviting me, and I even all the links and give him money.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated, guys. All right, everybody. We will see you next week on Shawk Talk Tuesday, all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome on in and take a seat. Conversations that can't be beat. Music and movies to name a few. Sports and drinks and tiramisu. This is a podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. This is a podcast for everyone. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk.